Now at least we are going to say something about design. But we have been saying, well, we said something about life cycle design, but designing sustainable product service system applied to DA. And what are the approaches and the skills? So what changed from designing product, normal product, or the artifact that we are usually designing? What do you think, for what we have understood? Does it something change in the way what we have to know about? Yes, maybe about sustainability, okay, and, environmental and socio-ethical. But it's not just this that I want you to tell me something about it. You get a little, so what we said, what was that important when we speak about S.PSS and DA? What were the key paradigms? Where the innovation were posed? Sorry?
System level?
I'm asking. You remember? I help you a little bit. We have, as Mr. said, we have to definitely have a system thinking, but system thinking can be used in different ways. Okay, we are speaking about sustainable product service system. We understood what they are and when they are sustainable. That means, for example, that when having a satisfaction system approach, we have to design thinking not just to the product, not just to the service, but what we call the satisfaction unit. You remember? To eat outside here in the break. Okay? That is one specific satisfaction unit. And then, in relation to this, all the products, something you have, and the services, someone taking the stuff over there, that are needed for that. Okay? So this is a key point, all right? Before thinking to the product, neither the service, the satisfaction unit. And then it comes all the and the other thing is, what we understood is at first a technological innovation, or it starts from something different. We have first to design an innovative interaction among stakeholders. This is what we have to learn. This is our skill. This is where we have to be creative. It is said stakeholder configuration approach, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Very academic, maybe, too much. But the point is, we have to design interaction among stakeholders. And here I give you an example. This is a system map in which you see, this is a tool that I think we have still to decide whether to use the system map or not. But you can see that there are some actors. There is, now I can read it here without, there is a user, a company, now I cannot read without glasses and so on, but different stakeholder and NGO. So these are the components, let's say, of the system with their characteristics, okay? They have the characteristic like they have some competencies, they have some equipment, something. And then what we design, the interaction between the different stakeholders. They could be interaction in terms of information flows, material flows, labor flows, financial flows. I like to make a comparison with product design. When I'm designing a product, either this one, okay, this is made of different components, okay? the component, there are some, I don't know exactly, it's a polymer with some characteristic. Okay? I know that those characteristics are the good characteristic for this type of product. Alright? To work, to perform well. Alright? Then I have another component here that works differently, and then inside other components and so on. And then I have joining elements between those to make this to be a product to stay all together and function it well. Okay? So the components on a system level are the actors, the stakeholder, with their characteristic, like a polymer, a polymethylchloride, okay? Whatever it is, or polyethylene, with their characteristic, existing or that we can actually integrate. And the joining elements of a system, which are the interaction, as I said before. Information, financial, material flows, and so on. So this is what we have to design, okay? And we have to be creative into this, okay? This is the starting point. And this is why we call it system, because we look at the elements and at the interaction. System theory speaks about this, all right? It's a way in which we are doing it. And being once, no, I don't tell this story because I'm going too long. Last but not least, we have to design this to be environmentally and socio-ethically sustainable. Better still, you are going to tell it to me that we have to make such an interaction among the stakeholders in which there is the economic interest of the provider to do what? To make something that is environmentally sustainable and socio-ethically sustainable. Okay? Please remember this. It's not that all the interaction are, it's not that all the system that we produce, all the system map are sustainable. It could be, very bad. You develop a system to, I heard a noise. Of course, and this is in general related to system design for sustainability or sustainable product service system. When we speak about distributed economy, this is applied to the distributed economy production unit or the related product, as we said before. Okay? I know it's a bird. Lovely. Ciao. Not all PSS are sustainable, I said this. So actually, we need some, as it was introduced, like design for recycling, design for remanufacturing, design for energy reduction, and so on. We develop in the course of several years some criteria or strategy to orientate the process of sustainable product service system design towards environmentally and socio-ethically sustainable solutions. So the criteria that you will encounter, we will see now we have still to decide something about the use of the tools. If you will be using idea table related to those criteria, but nevertheless, for your information, when we speak about design for eco-efficiency, it means environmental and social and economic dimension, so environmental. We speak about designing for system life optimization, for the duration of the overall hardware being part of the system, not just one product, the overalls. Designing for transportation and distribution reduction, design for resource reduction, design for waste minimization and valorization, design for resource conservation and biocompatibility, and design for toxic reduction. And for each of these criteria, we have a set of guidelines that help achieve the designer. I'll show you in a while. This is what was already presented by Brenda before. We have this SDO toolkit. It's a bit old, now it has some here. Nevertheless, for each of the criteria you have a guide, an idea board to generate, to brainstorm. These are, the dots are actually digital post-it. You click and you can write, you brainstorm and you can write there inside your idea. And you have some guidelines. For example, for the first one, which is system life optimization. System life optimization, it means to design a product that lasts very long. Okay? And there are some guidelines, but the guidelines are not related to the fact design, make two-way snap fit so that that part that is easy to be broken can be easily substituted. This is not. This is related to product. You will find guidelines that are up to the system level in terms of interaction. So, for example, I take the glasses. If not, it's going to be a hell. It's complement product. I read the. Okay, complement the product infrastructure with services for their maintenance, repairability, and substitution. So complement the product. I'm not saying how to design this, but it's saying something about the way in which you offer. Add to the offer of a product that kind of services. And then, of course, when you brainstorm, you think to yours, is this anything that could suggest me something? Of course, you don't repeat this, but you imagine what kind of services could be complemented, added as an all-inclusive product. Because these, then you remember, make it interesting to design repairable product and so on. In the tools, you can click and have access to the examples that are on the website, on the Lansing website, even to have some inputs for this. Then we have develop a set of criteria for the socio-ethical dimension. And this is improve employment and working condition, increase equity and justice in relation to stakeholder, enable responsible and sustainable consumption, favor integrate the weak and marginalized, improve social cohesion. And you know, it's a work to understand which are, because when you speak about the strategy for social equity and cohesion, and you read the United Nations paper or the agenda in India or whatever, you can say, okay, take care about poverty, but yes, but I have to design this and now into this. So we have been working in understanding how these things could have been declinated to a language or to an action that a designer could really take through, okay? And empower and enhance local resources. And for each of those 6 criteria, we develop a set of guidelines. So for example, here you can move from one table to the other. You see up there, you have the 6 criteria. And promote and enhance, what is this? Improve employment and working condition and so on. So you have the different one, and in some cases you have example, you click on the example, you have a link to the example that is online and so on. And even the example could give you inspiration, you brainstorm and you put idea and so on, okay? I want to add something. This is, of course, as all the other tools, this is an open tool. So you can even download it or use it or change it as an administrator. You think that the guidelines that we develop are not fine, you want to redefine or translate it or do whatever you want, but this is what we have been doing so far. I don't know if Cenk will be able to present today, I don't think so, but we have developed even some guidelines related to S.PSS applied to DA, especially for these kind of things, okay? These are not presented to you. You are going to present, okay. Oh yes, because, okay. Sorry. So finally, I read this, but this is really the last slide, then I stop to speak today. Promise? A definition, a new challenging role, so to design the distributed economy system of products and services that are together able to fulfill a particular customer demand to deliver a unit of satisfaction based on the design of an innovative interaction among locally based stakeholders, where the economic and competitive interest of the provider continue to seek environmentally and socio-ethically beneficial new solution. Okay? So this is it's a kind of a synthesis. Okay? This is what basically in synthesis what we have to do. But you can recognize into this definition I hope all the elements that we have been listening during this course so far. Okay? This is theory. Now you will see some example, luckily, and then, but believe me, when this will come as an exercise, we will be together with you, and that we will really come into, you will really understand what is the difference from designing a product to designing a system, to designing an interaction, and to design an interaction that is really sustainable, and so on. Okay? And thank you very much for your attention.